Welcome to the next installment of my video series on the lunar geotechnics. And as mentioned in the previous video, I have sort of a broad-based idea how I'm going to work through this, and to very quickly recap the history and exploration of the moon, the scientific discoveries, the mythology and cultures surrounding the moon, technological innovations that occurred way back before I was even born, and even to this day. What are the future missions envisaged, and how does the moon impact the Earth? I am going to start including images and visuals during my videos. Okay, my cat is now trying her best to get my attention, but in order to make this more interesting for you, I'm going to include visuals, and at the moment I'm not that good at video editing, but I have some skills and I have access to really good software. So for this particular lecture, and I'm going to jump around a little bit between the subjects I mentioned, but for the moment, the history and exploration of the moon, and for now I'm just going to focus on the little bit that we do know of the moon, because after all these many years, when Copernicus and Galileo and those guys pointed their telescopes towards the moon, many things have changed, and many questions arose. Of course, there were the concept that the sun was orbiting the Earth and so on, but we know that is not true. We've at least progressed from there, but I'm going to share some images. Again, I'm not that good yet, so I can't say, look at this image and then talk about it. So I'm just going to talk about it and then just overlay the images for now. I'm pretty sure I will soon become proficient in adding my visuals, well, in line basically. But so the history of the moon, it is currently generally accepted that the moon was formed about 4.5 billion years ago, which is roughly the age of the Earth, although if I remember correctly, hello Piper, if I remember correctly, the oldest rocks in the world is about 3.8 million billion years old. So the moon, according to current popular theory, was formed during a collision about 4.5 billion years ago by a Mars-sized object. There are all sorts of ideas exactly how it happened, but it is sort of assumed or accepted for the moment that 4.5 billion years ago, something the size of Mars had a massive impact on Earth, and that has created or caused a... Sorry, if I look away, I have another screen on some images that I want to share with you, but it's important that I look at it in order to keep track. So the debris left over from the sun probably coalesced into a disk around the star, and all the planets formed, and then this object slammed into the Earth, and it flung out a piece of molten material, which eventually became the moon. About 5 billion years, 4.5, give or take a few million. The moon was obviously a lot closer to the Earth, and calculations say an Earth day was roughly 5 hours. Now, through millions of years of the moon moving away from the Earth at, again, give or take 4 centimeters per year, there is the concept of the conservation of energy. So energy must be retained. That's a plain physics matter. So as the moon is causing some friction on the moon, on the Earth, the moon is causing friction, and that causes the Earth to slow down. It also causes Earth tides, and that will be a lecture completely on its own. But we have this tidal bulge forming, moving around the Earth, and that is basically creating a loss of orbital momentum, and energy cannot be destroyed. So something needs to give, and basically the moon is moving away from the Earth, and the Earth is spinning slower, and the moon is spinning faster, and this is the reason why the moon is moving away from the Earth, give or take, as I said, 4 centimeters per year, which, interestingly enough, is about the same speed that your fingernails grow. And on average, the moon is 385,000 kilometers away from Earth, but of course it changes, because the orbit of the moon around Earth is not 100% circular. So we have so-called perihelion and aphelion, which is the closest and furthest points away from the Earth, but on average 385,000 kilometers, and on average 1.3 light seconds. In other words, it takes 1.3 seconds for the reflection of the moon to reach us. Together with that, there is this whole concept that the Earth is moving away from the sun at roughly 6 centimeters per year, and that is because the sun is losing mass. It loses roughly, very roughly, about 500 million tons of hydrogen per second. 500 million tons per second, which eventually turns out to 500 billion tons of helium. And that is exactly why the sun will turn into a red giant, give or take 5 billion years from now, and it will consume the Earth and the Moon and all the planets in between. A friend recently asked me, but how far away will Earth be in 5 million years? Will it still be consumed? The general consensus is it will be consumed. It's not something we need, us as current human beings, need to concern ourselves about. 5 billion years is a long, long time, but the sun will turn into a red giant and therefore will consume the Earth. But for now, we are concerned about the Moon, how did it form, and the importance of that. So it may not be exactly the next lecture, but we need to start looking at the geological formations of the Moon. Is it a layered structure? What is the seismicity? Does it have a liquid core or an iron core? But we will get there. This is going to be a long process to disentangle all of this information. But as I said, I would like to start enhancing this with some extra visuals. But until the next meeting or video, keep well.